What makes a great leader memorable? It's not just their achievements or decisions, it's the stories they tell and the connections they create. That's because leadership is as much about authenticity and trust as it is about strategy and results. Embrace different views. 6 blind men once came across an elephant in their village, each trying to understand what it was by touch alone. One felt its wide, sturdy side and thought it was a wall. Another grabbed a thick leg and assumed it was a tree. The man who touched the twisting trunk imagined a snake, while another held the sharp tusk and thought of a spear. One felt the flapping ear and likened it to a fan, and the last man, holding the tail, was sure it was a rope. It was only after a wise man explained how all these parts came together to form one elephant that they saw how limited each of their views had been. This story holds a powerful lesson for everyday life. At work, you and different departments might focus only on their piece of the problem, often missing the bigger picture. Taking a step back to look at the whole situation and really listening to each person's perspective can lead to smarter solutions and a more complete understanding. The same principle applies to personal life as well. For instance, as a parent, you might stress over small details, like sticking to a strict routine, and miss the bigger picture of your child's overall happiness and well-being. Seeking input from family, friends, or professionals often provides the clarity and direction you need. Everyone around you has a bit of the truth. When you start looking deeper, asking questions, and respecting others' viewpoints, you piece together the whole elephant in every situation. You make better decisions and grow both personally and professionally. Discover the career that suits you best. Once upon a time, 3 bears lived happily in their cozy forest cottage. One morning, after preparing their different flavored bowls of porridge, they went for a walk to let breakfast cool. Meanwhile, a curious girl named Goldilocks stumbled upon their home, let herself in, and sampled each bear's porridge until she found baby bears to be just right. She did the same with their chairs, and later their beds, settling comfortably into baby bears. When the bears returned, they discovered her fast asleep. Though Goldilocks fled in a fright upon waking, she later returned to apologize, and over time, they became friends. Finding the right career path is a lot like Goldilocks' journey. It's all about exploring, experimenting, and finding a fit that feels right to you. It takes a lot of self-reflection to understand your values, motivators, and strengths. Try out different experiences and pay attention to how each one affects your energy levels. That's your guide to knowing what aligns with you best. Remember, just as the bears had their own preferences, everyone's career goals are unique. What works for someone else may not suit you, and that's okay. Focus on your own journey, not on meeting others' expectations. Forget the idea of a perfect linear career path. Instead, embrace exploration with curiosity and a willingness to learn. And don't fear missteps along the way. Accountability, like Goldilocks' apology, is an essential part of growth. When your right fit shifts over time, don't panic. Adjust, adapt, and carry on with confidence. Success lies in staying open, reflective, and flexible as you find what truly works for you. Establish clear targets. Once upon a time, 3 little pigs set out to build homes of their own. The youngest pig threw together a house of straw to enjoy more free time. His middle brother aimed for a bit more comfort and built a house out of sticks. The oldest, however, used sturdy bricks, putting in extra effort. When a hungry wolf came along, he easily blew down the straw and stick houses, sending the younger pigs scrambling to their brother's brick house. Unable to blow down the brick, the wolf tried entering through the chimney, but the clever oldest pig had a pot of boiling water waiting in the fireplace below. The younger pigs saw the wisdom in their brother's choices and eventually built their own brick houses. Setting and reaching meaningful goals is a lot like building a solid house. It requires vision, careful planning, and a solid foundation. To get started, imagine where you want to end up. This final picture, like the blueprint for a house, will guide each step you need to take. Similarly, creating effective goals means making sure they are smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Once you have a clear plan, the next step is to break down these big goals into smaller daily tasks. This approach makes even the biggest projects feel manageable and allows you to celebrate small achievements along the way. Progress doesn't have to be overwhelming, it just needs to be consistent. Visualization can also keep you motivated. Imagining success activates the same areas of your brain as actual achievement. Support is equally vital. Surround yourself with mentors, friends, or accountability partners who believe in you, much like the oldest pig supported his brothers. These allies provide encouragement and guidance when challenges arise. With clear goals, steady effort, and strong support, you'll build a foundation for success that uplifts both you and those around you. Base your decisions on your personal scorecard. A hare and a tortoise met in the woods for a race, one fast and showy, the other slow and steady. When the race began, the hare dashed so far ahead that he decided to take a nap along the way, confident he'd still win easily. Meanwhile, the tortoise just kept going, step by step, until she passed the sleeping hare and won. Her success was about knowing her strengths and sticking to her own way of doing things. Creating a personal scorecard helps you live life like that tortoise, on your own terms. This scorecard isn't about meeting others' expectations, it's about measuring yourself against your own goals, values, and the behaviors that matter most to you. Think of it as a compass guiding you through decisions in every part of your life: work, family, and community, especially when challenges arise. When you're clear on what drives you, your scorecard keeps you moving forward, even in difficult times. Your scorecard will evolve as you grow. It might include areas like health, creativity, work, and finances. Sharing it with trusted friends or family can deepen relationships, building trust through honesty and openness. You'll find it's especially useful for tough choices, like supporting aging parents or children with special needs. Regularly checking in with it helps you stay focused and adjust as needed. There's no right way to make a scorecard, as long as it's true to you. Like the tortoise, it lets you move at your pace toward the finish line that matters most. Stay open to feedback. Once, there was an emperor who loved fancy clothes more than anything. One day, two swindlers promised to make him magical clothes that only those truly worthy of their roles could see. Excited by the idea, the emperor hired them immediately. Soon, everyone, afraid of looking foolish, pretended to see the non-existent clothes, including the emperor himself. But during a grand parade, a child finally spoke up, shouting, "The emperor has no clothes." Just like the emperor's status kept people from speaking honestly, sometimes your role or relationships might prevent others from being fully open with you. You may not realize it, but your actions create a leadership shadow, an influence you have on others at work, at home, and in social circles. To ensure this shadow remains positive, you need honest feedback, but receiving it isn't always easy. When feedback comes your way, it's natural to feel defensive. Your brain may see it as a threat, triggering stress hormones that make it hard to absorb more than 30% of what's being said. This reaction can make feedback feel uncomfortable, yet it's a key part of growth. To effectively receive feedback well, approach it with curiosity, focusing on areas you can control. Give yourself time to understand what's being said without letting defensiveness take over. When giving feedback, on the other hand, be clear, choose a good moment, and aim for a conversation that encourages openness. Embracing feedback can turn it into a powerful tool for improvement, helping you build an environment where honest communication fosters real growth. Overcome self-imposed limitations. A thirsty crow finds a pitcher with water just out of reach. It tries tipping the pitcher and even using a stick, but nothing works. Finally, the crow gets clever. It begins dropping pebbles into the pitcher one by one until the water rises high enough to drink. Success. When facing challenges in life, you'll encounter three types of limitations. First, there are false constraints, boundaries you impose on yourself due to doubt or others' opinions. For instance, believing you can't lead because you're introverted is a self-limiting myth. Next are proactive creative constraints, intentional limits you set to inspire innovation, like planning a project with 30% less budget, forcing you to think outside the box. Finally, real constraints are the true limits we all face, such as time, money, or specific skills. To break free from false constraints, start by examining your self-talk. Phrases like, "I don't have enough time," or "I lack the skills," only reinforce limitations. Instead, adopt a growth mindset. Remind yourself you simply haven't solved the problem yet. Embrace the setbacks and keep experimenting with new approaches, just as the crow did. Persistence in the face of failure is key. Adjusting your strategies based on what's working can make all the difference. Just as the crow turned an obstacle into an opportunity, you can approach challenges with creativity and determination. With problem solving and persistence, even the most daunting limitations can be overcome. Live by your values all the time. A frog by a pond was always feeling cold, unlike his friends. One day, a farmer offered to warm him in a pot of water. Grateful for the warmth, the frog accepted and dozed off, relaxing. Little by little, the farmer raised the temperature, and though the frog started to sense something was wrong, he trusted the farmer's reassurances. Only when he realized he was nearly boiled alive did he finally leap back to his pond, learning to value the coolness of his home. The story illustrates the importance of living in alignment with your values and recognizing when things feel off. Subtle, harmful changes often slip by unnoticed, especially when they happen gradually. Your values serve as an inner compass, guiding you when situations drift away from what you believe in. In a job, a relationship, or any environment, these shifts can be hard to detect. Sometimes, your body reacts before your mind catches on. Unease in certain meetings or conversations can signal misalignment. When you feel this disconnect, you have a choice. Work to improve the situation, look for new opportunities, or reshape your environment. The key is recognizing when a shift is needed and acting on it. Financial goals or career ambitions might tempt you to stay put, but compromising your values too long can affect your well-being and personal brand. Change doesn't always mean leaving, though. Sometimes it's switching teams, starting new projects, or fostering change where you are. Remember, your reputation is built on the values you uphold. Real success means more than just enduring a difficult situation. It's about finding the places and people that let you thrive while staying true to yourself. Be true to yourself. In ancient China, a young woman named Mulan made a daring choice. To protect her frail father, she disguised herself as a man and took his place in the army. Through intense training and countless battles, she proved her bravery, saved her captain's life, and outsmarted the enemy. When her true identity was discovered, she faced shame and isolation. But Mulan didn't give up. When the Huns returned, she led her people to victory, not in disguise, but as her true self. Her courage and leadership shattered gender stereotypes, earning her the respect of the emperor and her people. In your own life, you might find yourself hiding parts of who you are, whether at work, with friends, or in public. This act, often called covering, might mean hiding emotions, sharing only select aspects of yourself, or downplaying traits you fear won't be accepted. Many people feel they have to cover up due to a lack of psychological safety, a fear of being judged, punished, or humiliated for being different or speaking up. Embracing your authentic self takes courage, but it's worth it. When you stop maintaining a facade, you free up the energy to connect meaningfully with others. Your uniqueness can strengthen teams and workplaces, leading to new ideas and better problem solving. When everyone thinks alike, creativity stalls. The real growth happens when you bring your full self into the mix. Think about the parts of yourself you might be hiding. What makes you unique? Those differences, even if they seem uncomfortable, may actually be your biggest strengths. Like Mulan, embracing your true identity can inspire trust, build stronger connections, and unlock your potential to make a real impact. The journey to being authentic is ongoing. Start small, in spaces where you feel safe, and let your genuine self gradually shine through.